Today, we are going to talk about the 3 biggest problems with HueForge, but I'm going to give you the 3 ways that I overcame those problems, especially when it comes to selling HueForge online. Let's dive right in. So I've been selling HueForge for just over a year and a half now, and I've realized some things that are roadblocks in trying to sell HueForge products, especially when it comes to selling them online. And so today we're going to dive into the 3 problems that I've noticed over my year and a half of selling HueForge, but more importantly, I'm going to give you the 3 keys to overcoming those problems so that you can have a successful HueForge product, whether you're selling in person or online. Problem number 1, and this one seems so simple, but y'all, this is the biggest problem that I have faced with HueForge so far has been it's kind of useless. And I know that sounds pretty harsh, but let me explain. Usually when people are looking to buy wall art, they are used to buying 2 types of wall art, whether it's prints on printer paper or nice photo paper, or it's metal kind of displays similar to display. Most people who are consumers looking to buy wall art are not looking for HueForge prints. They don't know what it is. They don't know what makes it unique, which makes it incredibly difficult to sell when you're competing with things like display or with artists who are printing out prints on photo paper. It makes it incredibly difficult. So when you're selling online, it's hard to communicate what makes HueForge so unique, that it has this beautiful 3D texture and that there's this 3D printing kind of aspect involved. It just kind of looks like a poster. And if you call it a HueForge online, most people aren't really going to know what that is. So the solution that I have found to overcoming this problem has been to give your HueForges purpose. I don't market my 3D printed HueForges as 3D printed HueForges. I market my products like sturdy bookmarks. The reason that sturdy bookmarks work is because you're giving it a use, you're giving it a function. A bookmark has a function or a role in a person's life. They use it to keep their place in a book. Calling it sturdy sets it apart from the other cardstock, laminated paper kind of bookmarks that exists on the internet already. And so when you call it a sturdy bookmark, you're already standing out in a way that products in a similar category don't really stand out. And then when someone chooses to pull the trigger and buy one of your 3D printed HueForge bookmarks, they're astounded by the quality and they want more. This is why I have racked up over 1,500 sales on my Etsy store, and why when I go to in-person markets, people just can't stop buying them. Once you've introduced the purpose behind the HueForge, then selling things like posters are a lot easier. Bookmarks, magnets, coasters, things that have a purpose, things that have a use in a person's life sell really, really well. And then people will stick around and buy the posters when they see how cool the art actually is. Number 2, the second problem that I have faced in selling HueForges is honestly just HueForge itself. It is hard to learn. The barrier to entry for a program like HueForge is pretty high. And unless you have the time to commit to learning the program, it can be a really frustrating process to learn HueForge and sell. There are lots of people that are very technologically savvy that love designing HueForge and STLs and .3MFs and all these things. But honestly, what most vendors want is to be able to print out something cool and then offer it at their stand, not really wanting to learn the software itself. And that's where people like me come in handy, because we sell a license for you to be able to take my designs, print them out in your 3D printers, and then sell them online or in person at a marketplace. But the second barrier is 100% how frustrating it can be to learn HueForge. And if you really want to learn HueForge, well, you're in luck, because I offer a one-on-one coaching class where you can learn HueForge the way that I learned, and hopefully with the community of people around you and with my coaching, you can get the grab on HueForge much quicker than I did when I was learning. But don't worry, if you're not in that camp and you don't want to learn HueForge, you just want to be able to print something out awesome and sell it, then don't worry. There are plenty of people that offer licenses for you to be able to sell their artwork and 3D print it out to be able to sell it on your platforms. Lastly, the third barrier to being able to sell HueForges, especially online, is that they don't really look unique. I don't think I've ever sold a poster online organically without having someone already purchased another one of my HueForge products. And that's why selling in person is so key. The amount of sales that I have made in person at markets, and then they've come back to my website to make a purchase from me after they've seen how cool the artwork and the HueForge actually is, has been super high. And that's why I really encourage people who sell HueForge to really try and get out there and do it in person. Being able to have someone touch the print and feel it really sets you apart from all the other artwork people that are out there. Give you a little bit of a bonus tip. Figuring out ways to set yourself apart from other HueForge artists is also really important. We talk about this a lot on my Patreon, but I'll give you a little bit of insight. One area that I have seen HueForge artists completely drop the ball in is in wedding photography. The door is wide open for you to be able to reach out to photographers and for you to learn how to use HueForge and then offer people their engagement photos or their wedding photos or their graduation photos in a really unique 3D printed style. I actually have an entire video coming that's a little bit of a tutorial for you to learn how to do this, and it'll even include a template for you to use to reach out to local photographers. But be creative as you're thinking about outlets for HueForge. They're not just posters. They can be bookmarks, coasters, graduation photos, wedding photos. You can be a really unique product in your area that no one else is offering. So those are my 3 roadblocks to selling HueForges online and the 3 ways that I approached and solved them. If you enjoyed videos like this, a little bit different, less of a tutorial and more of a conversation about selling HueForges and the market world of it all, let me know down in the comments below. Have you had success selling HueForges online? What have you done to set yourself apart? How are you different than the competition? I would love to hear what you have to say down in the comments below. And if you're super committed to growing and to learning all that HueForge has to offer, check out my Discord and my Patreon. My Discord, we have a giant community of people learning HueForge together and on this journey together. And then on my Patreon, we have a ton, over 200 of you guys learning HueForge, selling HueForge, having this conversation together. We would love to invite you into our community for you to join the conversation. I'm so thankful for all my patrons. You allow me to do what I love to do, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Until next time, y'all, take care.